Hello everyone. Welcome to Live Healthy, Be Happy with Amy Bolton. I'm here today to talk to you about sleep, right? That wonderful thing that we don't get enough of when we become parents, right? So I'm just gonna go ahead and share this with my group, Beyond the Baby Blues, a holistic approach. If you're not a part of that group and you need support with postpartum depression and anxiety, feel free to hop on and join us in that group, because there's lots of wonderful discussions and chats going on regarding all of that sort of stuff. So I'm just going to share that with our group, and hopefully my internet cooperates with me, yay! So that I can make sure to share that with this group. So I'm just letting that load. So sleep. So if you're watching the replay with me, feel free to let me know if you're struggling with sleep. Most likely, if you have any children under the age of 2, the odds are there's a very high percentage that you are or have been struggling at some point, right? I know it wasn't until my girls were 2 that they actually started sleeping all the way through the night. There was a few nights in between, you know, there and there, but it wasn't very consistent, right? So and it's so important for us to get so much sleep. And so many parents are walking around as zombies, you know, surviving off of caffeine, right? So let me know where you fit with that and what's going on with your life. Okay, let's see what's going on over here. We're trying to get it shared with this group. And we are loading. We'll see. All I can do is try, right? So I will get this shared here, hopefully. Oh, here we go. Here it comes. Here it comes. Reminding me of my songs I sing with my girls. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. We've clicked share. Is it going to load? Oh, there we go. So, are you getting enough sleep? Well, it'll be interesting if anyone says yes. I know I definitely wouldn't have been saying yes in the early years of my new babies and everything else going on. And I know I need my sleep. Like, I've always needed like 8 hours of sleep or so, right? So let me know, like, are you like that as well? Like, have you always needed lots of sleep, or have you been one of those people that can get along with not very much sleep? I know my husband gets along with very little sleep at all. He can do like 6 hours and be fine. But me, I know I've always needed my sleep, so that's been a struggle. And if you're joining me live, feel free to say hi and let me know how your sleep is and what you feel about that. And if you have little ones in your life, if you're finding that it's more challenging to get your sleep, right? So let's get into this. So some of the benefits of getting more sleep, right, as I'm sure you're aware. Overall, it's so important to just be aware of what we're getting. And if you're not getting that sleep, I'm going to give you a bunch of tips to try and help with that, right? As new parents, as a new mom, etc. Because all of these wonderful health benefits that come along with getting enough sleep, right? It's very, very important. It's one of those big health pillars that are up there along with like nutrition and exercise, right? So those sorts of things are so important for our overall health, right? So our mental health, to prevent depression, right? So if you're already finding that you're anxious, you're depressed, then it's very, very, very important that we look at all of these different factors that can contribute to that, right? Heart disease, right? So heart disease is a higher risk when you're not getting enough sleep, if you're deprived of sleep. And my cat's coming up to visit me. I wonder if he's coming. Diabetes, again. And the other thing that was interesting too is that I was looking at is the fact that when you're not getting enough sleep, you're tending to eat more or eat less. Now, when you're eating more and probably not very healthy things, probably like instant more food, like foods that are just like grab and go, so probably more full of sugar and processed things that you wouldn't normally be eating, right? because you're sleep deprived. You're trying to get that energy. So when you're eating that stuff, it makes sense that it would be more leading to weight gain, diabetes, that sort of stuff, right? So these are the risks of not getting enough sleep. Low immune system, so your immune system can deplete quite a bit because it needs time to, you know, refresh, feel better through the night, get better, you know, and we need to be eating healthy nutrition in order for our immune system. So it all kind of connects hand in hand, right? So it's all connected. So the number that's crucial is to get 5 hours straight of sleep. And I know that may sound crazy for some of you that have newborns around, because I know sometimes they wake up every 4 hours. I know that was the magical number for me, every 4 hours. Well, if I could just get that extra hour, apparently that's the key number for sleep deprivation, is to get 5 hours solid of sleep. So, and I've got some tips to help you kind of get those 5 hours of sleep and try and make that happen. So some of my tips are, I'm just looking at my notes here. I've got a whole pile of them written down. So let me know if you use any of these. If you're watching the replay, let me know. You can type in #replay. I'd love to hear your comments if you're watching the replay. And we'll get to these tips so that you can find some that work for you. Of course, they're not all going to work for everybody, but let me know which ones you find might be helpful and you might incorporate into your life, and I'd love to hear about that. So if you're nursing your child, your infant or your toddler, you can always try laying down to nurse during the day. So then it may help, you know, relax a little bit more, get a little bit more rest in, right? Sleep when baby sleeps. I know this is like, doesn't everybody tell us to do this? And then it's like, I know when I was a new mom, I know I was always told this, and I was like, well, the baby sleeps like all the time in the beginning, which is true, right? And so I just thought I could just be super mom and do everything, and I had all this energy and doing everything, and I burnt out. I really did. That is kind of what happened with me. I was like, do everything, and then I dropped and plummeted and burnt right out. So take this advice seriously, guys. Like, sleep when baby sleeps, especially right in the beginning. Or if baby's napping, like, you know, do your chores when baby's awake, when you can, you know, find a time, or with baby in the carrier or something, but sleep when baby sleeps. If baby's napping, you know, take advantage of that time to nap and get that extra rest for yourself, right? It's gonna help. So there's one tip there. Let me know if that resonates with you, or if you're that mom that wants to get everything done when baby's sleeping. Okay, so some other things that you can do. If you're having a hard time like falling asleep at night, there's some really good tips here. So you want to make sure, I know I talk about this a lot, is get rid of that screen time before bed. 1 hour before bed. The color on the screen is not good for our eyes. It stops the natural production of melatonin, and we want our bodies to naturally produce that melatonin, right? And that leads me into the other tip, is a routine, right? So if we're trying to keep consistent on our sleep schedule and going to bed at the same time every night, if possible. I know it's challenging with getting on schedule with the new ones, but if you can, it's gonna help that melatonin know, okay, this is the time of day that we usually start creating melatonin, and it's like your body gets used to that, right? So trying to create that schedule, that routine. Other things you can put into your routine is like some calming, relaxing music, or a meditation audio of some kind. One that I really recommend and I love is Louise Hay's. She has a morning and an evening meditation. I listened to the evening meditation a lot, and I really, really enjoyed it. The morning one I couldn't really ever fit into my schedule so much. I would love to try it at some point again, but let me know if you think you can fit something like that into your schedule, even just, like I said, relaxing music, right? So the other thing is, I had mentioned earlier, is those pillars of health is exercise, right? So the more we're getting exercise, the more our body can, you know, let go of a lot of that other stuff. during the day, then we can be ready for rest at night, right? So if you can try and get some exercise in, even just a walk around the block, you know, with baby in the carrier and the stroller, or whatever you can get in. Maybe you can, you know, throw on your workout DVD while baby's, you know, having some tummy time, or whatever, yoga, whatever feels good to you, right? So let me know if any of these things resonate with you and you decide to start putting them into your routine, or it just kind of gives you that idea that you may end up deciding to do. So right before bed, you can use things like essential oils. Lavender is a really good calming, relaxing oil that you can use. Another thing that you can do is deep breathing. So I know this is, if I'm laying awake trying to fall asleep, sometimes I'll focus on those deep tummy breaths. So one thing you can do is, it's called the 4-7-8 breath. So you breathe in for 4, you hold for 7, and then out for 8. And so you count those. So you breathe in for 4, hold for 7, out for 8. And I can already feel after doing that a couple times that it is very relaxing, and it will help relax you. So try that out, and remember to breathe into your tummy. We want to teach ourselves to, you know, use that tummy breath that's going to help with relax our parasympathetic nervous system and help us relax, versus if we're breathing up in our chest, it's kind of triggering our fight or flight response. It's making us feel more anxious and more on edge, right? So make sure to remember to breathe into your tummy, and that's a great way to help calm you down and help relax before bed, right? Along with, if you want to throw some essential oils there. My cat is trying to chase this fly that's over here. Oh, my cats. I don't know if you've seen them when they were kittens, but they're like getting quite big. Where are they? There they are. There's my kitties. They're getting quite big, and they're trying to find a fly. Anyways, so, and animals can be just so relaxing and calming too, right? Just if you have your animals, cuddle with your animals before bed. Okay, so what other things can you do? So I said being on schedule, deep breathing. My notes are like all over the place today. Journaling. So I know journaling is a big one that I used to use all the time, because I get all these anxious, racing thoughts going on. And I was like, I got all these things to think about, all these things to do. I'm overwhelmed. And so then what ended up helping me was to just get up, write everything down, and often it was like less than a page. I'd be like, that was a lot of time laying there worrying about things when all I was thinking about was what could fit on one page. And then it just felt so good because it was all of a sudden on a piece of paper. And so what I could do then is, if the next morning or whenever, I could go back, and if there were certain things I could do, I could go back and look at that and deal with it. Or I could just let go of it altogether, right? So I found that a really good strategy. The other thing that I've done too is doing like a gratitude journal in the morning, and it really helps switch my mindset to being more positive, which I believe all these little things that we do, they contribute to better sleep at the end of the day, right? Okay, so caffeine, as much as caffeine in the morning is great, limiting your caffeine and just being aware of it. Some people may be more tolerant to it, some people may be less tolerant to it. I know if I drink more than 1 cup a day, it definitely affects my sleep, especially if I have it later in the day. My body needs time to get rid of that caffeine out of my system, so be aware of that. Drinking a calm tea before you go to sleep, right? So limiting that caffeine, and then also drinking a herbal tea, something warm that's going to help you relax and calm down, right? So chamomile can be a great calm tea. There's all kinds of them out there. Okay, so the other thing is you can get help. So that is a big one, right? So getting help, you can always hire help. Like they have night doulas. I didn't know this was a thing, but apparently they do. Apparently you may have a night doula in your area, a doula that can come in the night and help relieve you while you are sleeping. and help with some of the night feeds or whatever that is. So that's something you may want to look into. The other thing is communicating with your partner, right? So when you need 5 hours of sleep in order to avoid sleep deprivation, when you need 5 hours of sleep in a row, maybe your partner can get up at some point and help with a feeding. Maybe when you can go to bed right away with baby and he can do a feeding or something before. I don't know. I know it's hard when you're nursing. I was nursing both my girls. My youngest would never take a pumped bottle of milk, so it was challenging. But I always had them kind of in the bassinet in the beginning, right beside our bed, so it was easy to just lay down, kind of nurse them while I'm laying down, and then put them back, so it didn't really wake me up so much. But you'll find a system that works for you. Let me know if you want to chat about that at all, and I'm totally open to chatting about all of this stuff and kind of finding what works for everybody, because it's an individual thing, and sometimes just chatting about it and thinking of different ideas, and this list is not exhaustive. It's just there's so many things we can do depending on your life and depending on what's going on. So getting help, and even during the day, just squeezing in a nap or something. If somebody can come over and hang out with you for a little bit or be there, that's going to help so much, right? If other people can be there to help so that you're not doing all these things that are exhausting you, helping with other household chores and stuff, so that you can focus more on sleeping and getting that sleep, right? So let me know if any of this resonates with you. Let me know if you're watching the replay. I'd love to hear from you and know. And I'm going to leave it at that and let you guys get on with your day. And have a wonderful Tuesday. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.